Hello everyone, I am Shweta and welcome to my channel Analytics by Shweta. In today's video, we will learn how to use the first date and the last date functions in Power BI. If you have a look at first date, it returns the first date in the current context for the specified column of dates. And the syntax is first date and you give a date column. Similarly, the last date will return the last date in the current context for the specified column of dates. And again, the syntax is last date and you give a date column. Let us go to Power BI to better understand both of these functions. We would be first looking at our data model. Our data model is a simple data model having 4-dimension tables connected to our fact table, the hires data, in a one-to-many relationship. Now, the hires data has a DOJ column, which is the hire date or the joining date of the employee, and the calendar table has a date column. Now, both of these columns are connected via a one-to-many relationship. These date columns are essential for our time intelligence function. Now, we have already created a measure called as total hires, which is counting the hires data and the employee code column. Now, each and every employee in our organization has a unique employee code. So this function would give us a distinct count of employees. Let us see first date and last date in action. We would create a measure. We would name it as first date or start date, and we use the first date function. The first date function requires dates, so we would be using the calendar date column, and we approve this measure. We create another measure. We name it as last date, end date. We use the last date function, and once again we give the calendar date as the option. Now let us create a table visual. In the table visual, we would be adding the year, we would be adding the short month name. Now we have created two measures. One is for the first date and the second measure is for the last date. Let us add both of this to the table visual. Let us format these dates. We would be formatting the last date as well. If you now look, in January 2020, it is giving us the first date as 1st of January 2020. As in January, the earliest date or the first date is 1st Jan, so it is returning as 1st Jan 2020. And similarly, if you look at the last date, it is returning as 31st January 2020. If you further look at the next month, February 2020, it is giving us 1st February 2020 as the first date and 29th February 2020 as the last date. So all of these dates either give you the first date and the last date gives you the last date. So I hope you understood this simple example of how first date and last date works. We will look at one more example to better understand this. Also in this table visual, if you look at the grand totals, the first date we get as 1st January 2020 and the last date we get as 31st December 2022. As we have 3 years of data in this report, our earliest date or the first date in our report is 1st January 2020 and the last date which is present in our report is 31st December 2022. So the grand total is taking 3 years into account and showing the first and the last date. Whereas individually, when we are looking at each and every row over here, it is seeing the row and returning the first date and the last date. I hope you understood this example. We will be looking at one more example. Let's have a look at another example of first date and last date. We would be creating a new measure. We would be naming it as first date department. We would use the calculate. We would use the first date function. And now we would be using the hires DOJ column. Now, as I told you, DOJ is the date of joining or the hiring date of the employee. We would be then giving a filter department, and we say department is equal to information technology, and we approve this measure. Let us format this measure as a date, and we are using a card visual, and we are putting this date over here. Now this date which you see here, 1st February 2020, and let's also look at the measure. Now in information technology, the first hiring date was February 2020. That means the employee who joined first in that department was in 2020 and on the day 1st of February. Before this date, we did not have any employees in this department. So it is returning to us the first hiring date in this department. We can also create a similar measure to calculate the last date. Let us just copy this measure. We would paste the measure. Let's use last date department, and here instead of first we would be using last, and we approve this measure. Let us create another card visual, and here we would be using the last date department. Would also format this as a date. If you see, 25th September 2022 was the last date anybody was hired in information technology department. So using these two, we have calculated the first hiring date in a particular department and the last hiring date in a particular department. So this was another example of using the first date and the last date. I hope you understood how to use the first date and last date in Power BI. There are many more time intelligence functions which we would be learning in the upcoming videos, so please keep a track on it. I thank you for your time. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more updates. Have a nice day. Thank you.